All right, in our first half hour, we talked about how our Storm Track 8 team tracks severe weather. Big part of that includes working with storm chasers on the ground, and we are very lucky to be joined by one right now. Justin Cardamone is joining us right here on The Current. Justin, thank you for being here with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
How long have you been storm chasing?
Oh, for at least 15 years. Started out as a kid and just kind of worked my way up from there.
Okay, started as a kid. I feel like a lot of kids are scared of storms. What drew you to them?
So back in the mid-90s, there was actually a tornado that came through my hometown of Waterloo, Iowa. And my mom got my sister and I out of bed, which of course, was like in the middle of the night. I was watching the meteorologist on the local NBC affiliate there. And the way he was talking about things just made it calm and really understanding what was going on. And so I'm like, okay. And then of course, later in the 90s, Twister came out. And I'm like, okay, now I'm intrigued. So that was kind of the point where I started reading radar, really paying attention to what the National Weather Service was putting out and wanting to warn people because obviously as we're in the Midwest, what do we want to do? Go outside and watch. So including myself. So I'd be going, trying to read the radar, understand what was going on, and that way I could warn those people, everybody was watching to say, hey, this is really what's happening outside. We do have a tornado on the ground, or it's something we need to watch to see where it's going to go next.
Interesting. So when you're actually out there storm chasing, what kind of data do you have? What are you looking at? So
we've got usually our News 8 streaming app. We have that on, of course, so we can hear what's going on in the studio. I've got my weather radar app. I've got actually my girlfriend using my co-pilot, thank goodness. So she can be helping me with what she's seeing as well. She's also a train spotter, so that makes a big difference as well. And really just kind of keeping an eye on the sky as well as driving. So we're doing multiple things at once. So I can relay those reports to the National Weather Service as well as here in the studio, so that way we can keep everybody updated. So it's kind of a multifaceted operation.
And are you trying to stay in front of these storms, beside them, behind them? Where are you trying to position yourself?
Really the southeast corner, I believe, or southwest corner, rather, is where we try and stay, because that's the dry part of the storm. That's where any tornadoes typically would show up if they do. And that's the safest way out there, too, is trying to maintain that position as well.
I'm glad you brought up safety. I want to get back to that in just a second, but you've seen a lot of tornadoes over the years. You've been through a lot of storms. I want to talk about particularly one of the most deadly you've been through, Parkersburg EF5. Right. May of 2008, 9 people lost their lives. Tell me about what that chase was like.
It was very different than anything I'd ever been through. And I've been on a number of chases prior to that. The air felt heavier. It had a weight to it. If you haven't been through one, or if you been in that situation, it's hard to describe it other than the air being so buoyant, so humid. Was watching the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service that morning, and the way they were talking was, okay, we're going to issue a tornado watch. That was my first clue, really be on guard. Told a friend of mine, hey, if you want to come with me, this would be a good chance. I said, but it's going to be quick because things could be moving pretty quickly here. So got her in the car and said, okay, this is what we need to do. Was watching the radar. A lot of it was actually instinct. Just trying to read what the clouds were doing, based on where I was driving, going west on Highway 20, and then turning north toward Parkersburg, not realizing really where I was at the time, but turning down those county roads, and all of a sudden we're going down a county road, a gravel road, and I saw these really low-lying clouds right to my right. And I'm like, that's a tornado. We were within probably 5 miles from Parkersburg, and the tornado about a mile before it hit town. Wind speeds were averaging 60 to 70 miles an hour that far out, and we're talking about winds that are over 200 miles an hour. So being able to keep not just what is going on in front of me, but also my surroundings. It seemed like there was a funnel cloud that was also coming down within a mile straight ahead of us. So not having the tunnel vision, having to be aware of what's going on around you. So I got out of there, and there were several other chasers in the area, and I pretty bluntly said, if you're not experienced, you need to go. This is not something to mess with. So we booked it back on Highway 20 and followed it the rest of the way in, and was able to hopefully warn some people through that. Made a call to the NBC affiliate up there and was like, hey, this is what's going on. And I truthfully don't feel they believed me at the time with what was going on. But if one person believed me, that was my goal.
Yeah, to just save one life, and that's why you do this.
Exactly.
You're passionate about keeping people safe.
Absolutely.
That's what our team is feels so strongly about. But when you're out in the field, what steps do you take to make sure that you and your co-pilot stay safe?
Absolutely. So making sure we know where our roads are at. Know your road network. That's the biggest thing. Have a way out. So what was it this last Tuesday when we were chasing? You know, we were at a four-way stop. So I could go any of four directions should I need to. Making sure that, you know, you're aware of your surroundings, aware of other chasers are. There are apps out there that show where other storm chasers are too, so you're not running into each other. And if I see there's a cluster of chasers in one area, I actually stay away. So I don't want to be involved in car accidents or have a tornado drop down near us or be in a predicament ourselves. So that's where I prioritize safety over getting those reports and getting those shots. It's not worth it at that point.
Well, what about someone who is watching and says, hey, I also love weather. I'm super fascinated by this. How can people get started when it comes to storm chasing?
So the first thing and the most important thing is to go to a storm spotter class held by the National Weather Service in the Quad Cities this year. They're doing all remote. So there's a little bit more option for any of the younger kids that parents may say, hey, let's just dive into this a little bit and see where we go. And it's a free 2-hour class that's held throughout the spring, and they're going every year. So even if you miss one this year, there's still a chance next year. Look online. The Weather Service website has a plethora of information on it. And James and the Storm Track 8 weather team do a great job too of posting their information online and making it so it's easy to read, understand. That's kind of what brought James and I closer together, is doing a storm chasing class here. And then everything lined up and we're like, yeah, if we can collaborate, you guys help us out and we help you out, absolutely, I'm all for it.
Justin, your work is invaluable to us here. We rely on it so much during severe weather. Thank you so much for your time and coming in today. I really appreciate this.
Thanks for having me.
And for you guys at home, if you want to share this story, you can find our online version up at WQAD.com. Just click on the As Seen on TV tab at the top of the homepage.